Hey you guys, you're gonna hear farm songs and noise in the background. I'm really sorry, I can't really do anything about it. Also, I know my audio has not been the most fantastic thing in the world, but my boom doesn't fit on my new tripod, so I'm gonna figure that out. I'm going to attempt to film this with Zaggy. Come here, come say hi. And we'll see if he'll let me, but I wanted to sit down and film a bump date because I haven't. Have I even done one yet? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. Yeah, I did like one kind of sit down casual chat about pregnancy, but I am 20 weeks now. I decided a couple weeks ago that I originally was not going to share my due date. Yeah, it's the camera. Mommy's telling a story. Yeah. Do you want to get a car? Why don't you go get your car? Originally I wasn't going to share my due date, but I have since changed my mind. Don't touch, please. Okay, that was short-lived. He's gonna go hang out with Mackenzie for a little bit. Anyway, it has been some time since I filmed anything, and yeah, as I was saying, I wasn't going to originally share like exactly how far along I was. I think maybe that's why I haven't posted any bump dates or anything yet. It's been really hard to like navigate that, figure out when to share and like whatever. But a couple weeks ago, I decided that I was no longer going to do that. It was causing me more annoyance since I film and stuff. And also I realized it was like a band-aid solution to the actual problem. And I decided to not share my due date this time, not because of anybody on the internet. Everybody on the internet has been totally nice every single pregnancy. Nobody bothers me. Everybody knows my philosophies on birth. They know that I think due dates are crap. They know that I think that I call it a guest date for a reason. It's just a guess. I've never had a baby before my guest date. Nobody's ever bothered me in my online space before, but in person, I had a few people that just would not stop, just relentlessly bothering me last pregnancy in my final weeks, and it really disrupted my peace, and it really drove me crazy to the point where like I had like a couple of like crying breakdowns a couple times. Like it was just bad. People just don't think that like they're, I don't know. I could rant about that, but I decided that me not sharing my due date was a band-aid solution when I just needed to hold firmer boundaries and stop protecting everybody's feelings who weren't considering mine, and allowing my husband to kind of be that warrior for me and the protector of the peace. And if I don't want to get into anything with anybody who may or may not bother me this time, he can step in and be like, listen, stop, or I'll like block numbers. I don't care. Like we'll do what we need to do. But I realized that like me not sharing my due date to protect myself from a very select few people who just weren't respecting boundaries, or just like weren't putting two together, that what they were doing was like annoying. Yeah, I just need to have firmer boundaries with those people instead of not sharing at all, because I realized with the way I share, it was just more complicated for me. So I am 20 weeks now. I had my anatomy scan. We found out we are having a sweet little boy, another boy, our third boy, which is so exciting. So we'll have one girl and 3 boys. It's a lot of boys. I'm so excited. We are all very excited. We would have been excited either way. We're just so stoked to have this baby. So that's really fun that we know now, and he has a name. That is something I'm not sharing. But we've officially named him, and I just can't wait. We were like pretty sure we knew-ish his name, but this one took the longest. Like Cody and I didn't agree for a little while. We were back and forth between two, and I'd say this might be the first compromise name, perhaps, where like we went with, we used both the names anyway. We have the first name and then the other one is the middle name. So I'm not sharing names this time until baby is born, and then I will share his name, just because we do choose different out there names. My name is Rainbow. You know, our last baby we named Zagreus, which is not a common name that you hear every day or at all. And again, the internet has always been great. It's just like something, I just do not have the space to hear anybody's opinion on my baby's name. I don't care what anybody thinks. This is our baby's name. And we love it, and we think it's awesome and beautiful and badass, and that's what counts. So we will share when he's born, but that is exciting to get out of the way. And then I found out that my placenta is actually posterior and not anterior like I suspected. I had 2 anterior placentas with both the other boys, and my only posterior placenta was with Mackenzie, my daughter. And this time I thought it was another anterior placenta because I really didn't feel a lot of movement until like the last couple weeks. Honestly, it was pretty quiet in there, and then when I started feeling movement, and when I would occasionally, it was really, really low, like it was with my anterior placenta pregnancy. So I totally assumed that I was having another anterior placenta, but I am not. It's a posterior placenta and a very chill baby apparently. So he looks beautiful and so sweet. He's measuring on the larger side, which is, that checks out for our babies. Yeah, he looks great. He looks healthy. He's got the cutest little button nose. We got a great ultrasound photo, and that will be my last ultrasound of my pregnancy, and I'm done now. I personally like to get, I know in the holistic birth world, there's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions on ultrasounds. I like to get 1 to date because my cycles were all over the place, and 2, the anatomy scan, just in case there were to be caught like a heart issue or a kidney problem or something that would affect my baby immediately following birth. When I'm a home birth mom, that's just something that is like peace of mind, knowledge is power kind of thing for me. And obviously we do like to find out what we're having, so we go with that, and that feels good for us. So I'm excited that that's we got to do that, but I'm also excited that I'm done with all sort of medical appointments. Yeah, my midwife comes to my house and we have our appointments on my couch, and it's beautiful and lovely. I'm really starting to get in the birth zone. Oh, I should talk about how I feel before I start talking about that. But like, let's talk about physically how I feel. So I'm actually doing so well, and I don't know if it's because like I have a toddler to chase after. And first of all, this pregnancy is flying because I do have a little baby that I'm chasing after. He's 13 and a half months old, so like he's still so little, cruising everywhere, running everywhere, and it's just making this pregnancy speed by. Also, I think the time of year, like this baby coming at the end of June, is so exciting, and my first summer baby, and this time of like spring, and we're starting to think of the garden, and there's spring stuff to do. We're starting to gear up for like the busyness. So physically though, I'm feeling really good, and I'm sleeping really well. I wonder if maybe I feel like I'm sleeping just fine because I have been up for so long. Pregnant with Zagreus, obviously I was up through the night to pee when you're pregnant, and then I had a baby and he still doesn't sleep all the way through the night usually. So it's just really continuation of normal, and I feel well rested, and I feel like it was kind of the perfect age because he was sleeping really good, even though we'd still have a wake up there very quick. And usually it's to get a drink of water or to have a little cuddle, and he's straight back to sleep. We co-sleep too, so that makes, I don't even get out of bed. So that makes things so much easier. So I feel really well rested. I have been utilizing my big kids every once in a while. If I do feel the need for a nap, I'll either just go lay down with him when he has his one nap during the day, or I'll just literally like 20-minute cat naps, like power naps, and I'll just be like, hey, you want to hang out with your brother for a second? I'm just gonna take a little power nap here on the couch. And that has been really great, but I feel like my energy levels are really good, and that has been good. Last pregnancy I had something called SPD, or pelvic girdle pain, which is just like a pelvis disorder thing that can happen in pregnancy, where your ligaments in your pelvis get too loose and it can make the pelvic bones grind together. It's extremely painful. It can be really quite debilitating the bigger you get, and I had that quite badly with Zagreus. But I also it was one of my first pregnancy symptoms when I got pregnant this time, and I was really quite concerned with, if it's already bad, how bad is it going to get? Because you could wind up like on crutches. It could just be not a fun situation. However, I don't want to jinx anything, but in the last several weeks, like I don't remember the last pelvic flare-up I've had. I've been making sure I do yoga. I do yoga for pregnancy specifically for pelvis and hips. That's my main focus, and I've been practicing yoga. I'm trying to get back up to a daily practice. I'm not there yet, so I'm hoping by the end of the pregnancy I'll have a daily practice established again. I've got a good pregnancy pillow, and I've been just like really cautious. I learned how to move my body when I'm pregnant with Zagreus. I learned how to like keep my body in alignment when I'm sitting, not to slouch and slouch. And I also learned to keep my knees together when I'm moving, and kind of like angle my knees together when I'm getting out of bed or getting off of a chair or literally anything. And honestly, I don't have a lot of pelvic pain. Even in my most painful times, like getting in and out of a car, I'm finding it pretty manageable, and not only pretty manageable, but like almost not noticeable. So that's been huge. I take a lot of Epsom salt baths too. Like I almost bath every single night, and that helps a ton for me. And the only thing is like I've had a little bit of a sore lower back on one side, on my right side, just because I'm leaning more on the other side lately, and I just need to correct that as I sit in a way that does not support that. But I'm really happy to report that right now the pelvic girdle pain has really not made another appearance, even though I had it for most of like my entire first trimester and into my second. This is really when it started with SAG and when it started to get worse, and then it just got worse further into the pregnancy. So it is giving me a small glimmer of hope that it is not so bad right now, and that I'm not noticing it, and it seems to be getting better. So I'm hoping that like with supplements and all the things that I know about pelvic girdle pain and what helps my ligaments and things like that, I'm hoping that I'll just continue to be okay. And even if I have the occasional twinge or like have to be careful doing certain things, I'm hoping that I'll be able to stay very mobile my whole pregnancy, because obviously with a little one to chase after, that is super important. So that has been really good. Feeling all the nausea is completely gone. I've been asked that a couple of times, but like I get horrible HG in the first trimester and then it goes away. So I don't think I've had any sort of nausea or anything since like 14 weeks, which has been so nice. So my diet is back up to par for the most part, and I'm eating really well, and I feel really healthy, and I feel really energized, and I feel really good. Like I just feel like I thought maybe having babies back to back like this would be a little bit tougher, but so far, like I'm sure I'll notice a little bit more later into the pregnancy. But honestly, like I'm less out of breath than I was last time. I feel like I prepped so long, and I continued all my supplements, and I continued all my health regime right through. I had to go tell my deaf dog to stop barking out the window. Yeah, I continued everything right through pregnancy, right through postpartum, and right up. Like I still continued everything right until I got pregnant with this little guy. So I feel like maybe that has kept me more like robust than maybe I would have. I'm just like, I'm not having a lot of the symptoms of like, I don't know, what you can see with back-to-back pregnancies sometimes. So that is making me feel really good. I'm already having Braxton Hicks contractions and pelvic tightening. I don't know about anybody else, but I get these things in the middle of my pregnancy, and then they kind of go away towards the end, but it's a few weeks in my second trimester where it's like round ligament pain, but almost like a lightning bolt of it, where if I move wrong or I twist too hard or something, I will get like a shooting muscle spasm pain. It's like one of the ligaments in my belly or something just goes like, and it just kind of like stays there for a little while. It's quite painful. Couple of those this week where I've been like, ooh, that's not comfortable. But yeah, just general Braxton Hicks and things of that nature. But he's just a really chill baby. I'm starting to feel his kicks, and I feel him, I'm starting to get like the schedule where I start to feel him active at certain times of day. Like when I sit down, usually in the afternoon, we have a routine. I'll sit down with a cup of tea and do some crocheting, and I feel him kicking in the afternoon. And then when I go to bed in the evening and I wind down for the night, and I feel him moving around for like an hour, and it's just super sweet. So that is all good and well, and he seems to be a happy, relaxed little guy. I'm starting to get into birth prep space, because we found out he's a boy. We really don't need a lot to get ready for him. So I feel like ahead of the game in that way, where I just don't need very much stuff. Like with Zag, we had nothing. We had no baby stuff. So there was a lot to get. And thankfully, I'm so blessed. Like all my friends and everybody I knew came together and gave us so much stuff. And we were just given so much free stuff handed down and passed over to us, and I still obviously have everything. And so I really don't need to get a lot. I think I need to get a dresser and some new passies, maybe his own outfit or something. But I had my friend and I had babies very close together. Like she had one, I had one, she had one, now I'm having another one. And her babies are summer babies. So she's just has been giving me all of her little guys' clothes. And that's been so nice because even though I have clothes from Zeg, we have winter baby and then summer baby, and my babies are bigger. So it's like a little bit hairy of whether or not I needed clothes. But we are going to be so set, and that is very, very nice. It's just, I feel like mostly now I can just focus on preparing mentally for birth and labor, and preparing just to be a mom of 4. And I'm really excited. I'm like starting to envision and really focus on the birth and like who I want there, and where I want to have the baby. Do I want to have the baby in the living room again? I've decided I'm gonna have this baby up in my bedroom this time, I think, just to mix it up a little bit. I find that even though the living room was wonderful and it was like perfect near the Christmas tree, I wouldn't have changed anything with Zeg's birth. But since there's not any like magical Christmas tree or anything, it's the summer, as long as the weather is not too crazy hot. My bedroom is huge, and I thought that would be the perfect place because I've got my bed, I've got my my walk-in bathroom with my giant shower. I'm gonna put the birth pool up there, and it's my little cave. And especially since I've got like, Zeg's gonna be running around during the birth, and it's just a little bit more of like, I've noticed in the last little while, it's really been my sanctuary where I go to my bedroom every night. And I like have my tea, I put the baby to bed, I go sit there, I watch my shows, I do some crochet, I read books. It's like my little cave. And so I thought, like, my body has learned to really relax once I've entered my room. So that just sounds like a really nice, peaceful place to have this baby. So that's my plan. Also, there's a lot of avenues of options up there for if I have another spontaneously fast birth. So Zeg was slower, but it makes sense that he was slower because he had a true knot in his cord, and he was born with his hand on his head. That was fun. But if this baby doesn't have those things and is just ready to come out the plain and simple way, it could be a very quick birth. So I'm always preparing for that in the back of my mind. So anyway, that was chatty. I think that's all I have to update you on. The heartburn has started a little bit, but anyway, I don't think I have anything else to report on. I think maybe I'll just do these bi-weekly from now on and kind of keep you guys updated that way. By the next video, I will have had another midwife appointment and heard baby and just got to feel him. He's head down, so by this point my babies are always head down so far, and they just stay that way. So and he was really head down. They're always like quite locked in there, so I'm thinking we're good in that department. And yeah, I don't really have anything to report. I'm just really like trying to soak up all of the moments every week, just because this is the last baby and it's so beautiful, and I just am trying to really like trust myself more than ever before, and trust my baby more than ever before, and just really embrace and enjoy this pregnancy. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.